If you've been watching Make Money Online videos and you're still broke, it's not your fault. The truth is 99% of these videos are meant to keep you stuck in a loop, watching, learning, but never actually making any money. As someone that's made over $12.7 million online since 2018, I want to share why these videos don't work, why most advice is useless, and I want to share how to actually get results, the one thing that does work. So without further ado, let's get into it. The reason most advice keeps you broke is because the entire system is flawed. A lot of these YouTube gurus are making money by getting you to watch their videos over and over and over again. So if they solve your problem permanently, what happens? They lose their stream of revenue. They lose their income. A lot of these guys are making money on YouTube, so they want you to continue to watch their videos over and over. They don't want to get you actual results. And that's why it puts us in a little bit of a predicament, because now with all of these new passive income strategies that come up every single week, it activates our shiny object syndrome. What I notice with a lot of people that are getting started, that want to make money online, they always look for the path of least resistance, meaning they're going to look for the easiest way to make money. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to make money easy? Unfortunately for us, the easiest way to make money usually doesn't work. It doesn't exist. We tend to have this shiny object syndrome, and these YouTubers or the people making these videos, they capitalize on it. You'll see them switch from different offer to different offer. They'll offer you YouTube automation, e-commerce, to Amazon, to real estate. They'll jump from thing to thing just because they want to keep your attention. They want to do the hottest new thing. Right now, it was crypto, then NFTs, then AI. We've seen all of this stuff unfold. But the issue is when you're switching, when you have this shiny object syndrome, you never commit to one long enough to actually get any results. You're expecting the next one to be the next big thing, and it never is. I mean, think about it. Think about how many times you see one of these influencers online and they do all this lifestyle stuff, right? They rent a nice penthouse or they drive a nice car, and it's always a new thing. I got this from crypto, I got this from NFTs, I got this from AI. They're trying to sell you a new thing. At the end of the day, these people that are creating these videos, they're not actually giving you any value. They're just there to entertain you and keep your attention for as long as possible, because that's how they're gonna get paid. Again, the system is flawed because YouTube videos are not really built to get you results. They're meant to motivate you and inspire you. Because one thing these YouTube creators know how to do is motivate you. That's the easy part. Motivation isn't what makes you successful. It's the discipline. It's sticking with it. Because motivation is temporary. It's gonna go away at some point. So it's easy to get someone motivated. If I were to jump in front of the camera, my life would be way easier if I just said,
hey, if you do this, you're gonna be rich tomorrow. It's all gonna be passive income.
if I were to sit in front of you and lie to you, it would be so easy to motivate you. But unfortunately, I don't want to do that. So it's going to make it a little bit harder for me to get views, to motivate you, to inspire you. Hopefully me telling you the truth is what inspires you, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that's going to last. That's how you're going to build real success. But a lot of these YouTube videos, they're built to motivate you. They're built to take advantage of that thing in your brain that says, oh, I'm pumped up. Look at this Ferrari. I'm hyped. And when that happens, you're motivated for a couple days, and then you realize a Ferrari is not worth it when this business doesn't pan out. On to the next shiny object. On to the next business model. One thing I like to share whenever it comes to success, I tell this to all the employees at my company. I tell this to everyone on my social media. Motivation is easy, but obsession is hard. You have to find one business model that works, and you have to be obsessed with making it happen, because the second you can make money with that, it's not gonna happen overnight. That's where you start to see real results. If you can make $1 online, you can make $2 online, you can make 10, 15, 20, 1,000, 10,000. Before you know it, you've made $100,000 online, but it's just because you stuck with one thing. So before I share more about the business that actually made me rich, I wanna go over 3 main beliefs that keep most people broke. And the first one is thinking that you can get rich with passive income. I wanna make something very, very clear. Passive income is real. It is very real. I have a lot of passive income to this day, but you don't get rich with passive income. Passive income is something you have once you already have money. For example, passive income could be an investment account with $10 million in it, making 10 to 12% a year. Now you're making $1 million a year passively. But how are you supposed to do that when you're broke? How are you supposed to create a passive income when you're broke? Do you think some sort of business that you're gonna build is gonna create passive income? No, businesses require work. If it was easy, everyone would do it. A lot of people assume, or they're sold this dream of passive income. That's how you're gonna get rich. Passive income is real, but you need a lot of money to do it. You're not gonna get rich that way. So if you're starting with nothing, complete beginner, passive income isn't gonna get you to where you wanna go. You're being sold a dream that's never gonna happen. And I know it's probably not what you wanna hear. You want me to go up here and lie to you and just tell you you can get rich with passive income? But if I do that, I'm not gonna be helping you out. Passive income is a myth when you are getting started. It's gonna require work in the beginning. And if you really want that passive income, once you start bringing in real cash and real results from your business that you put work into, that passive income begins to follow. For me, I started a social media marketing agency. I started a business. It was slow in the beginning. The first year and a half, I was making decent money, 10, 15, 20 grand a year, but I had no passive income yet. But I stuck with it. And after years, I think now I've been doing it for around 8 years. Now I have a lot of passive income because I've taken that money that I've made through social media marketing, scaling my business, growing my business, and I've used it to invest in real estate. I got apartment buildings, I have a hotel, I have a big crypto portfolio, I have other businesses that now drive revenue for me. I have this social media thing. I took one business that allowed me to make money, and I've taken that money, invested it to then create a passive income for myself, which leads me to the second belief that holds a lot of people back, and that's believing that you need money or an audience to get started. Whenever I tell people I make money on social media, they always say,
Well, it's because you have followers.
and my response to that is like, so do you think I just started with followers? You think I was just born and I had followers? No, I had nothing in the beginning and I had to build it up eventually. So you don't need followers to start. You can start with zero. Matter of fact, I'm going to share a business model with you that I do where I started with nothing. So you don't need followers to start. You don't need an audience to start. Matter of fact, you don't even need to be in front of the camera. There are business models that allow you to work from behind the scenes. A lot of other people say, oh, well, you need money to get started. Some businesses, I own a software company. You want to start a software company? It might cost you some money. I had to pay developers $250,000 to build my software just to get it started off the ground. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I had no money. So some businesses are gonna require capital, right? You wanna start a restaurant, you need brick and mortar, it's gonna require capital. With the internet now, with AI, we have all of this technology that allows us to start a business with little to no cost. It's something that we can do on the side and turn into a full-time income. So I want you to break that belief that you need money or you need an audience. Those are all just excuses that hold you back. The truth is, you don't need any of those. And last but not least, limiting belief number 3, people think you need to have everything mapped out. You need an entire plan before you can start. Most people make this huge mistake of thinking that they need an entire roadmap. They need to know every single answer to every question. They need to have an entire business model before they can do anything. The issue is when you think this way, you overanalyze and you never start. People wait for the perfect time, but it's never the perfect time. So if you're someone that's been looking and watching these videos and learning and trying to come up with the perfect plan for your business, and when people ask you about it, you're like,
Yo, we're gonna start, but I just need to finish mapping it out or planning it.
you're caught in this trap because you are never going to be ready. The only way you get ready is by starting. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have a perfect plan. You don't need to have it all mapped out. It will unfold itself along the way. Steve Jobs has a great quote and I love it. He says, you can't connect the dots looking forwards. You can only connect them looking backwards. And that's the truth because you don't know exactly where you're going. Life changes. Things change. Unexpected problems happen. But if you start, at least you start getting momentum. At least you can connect to the next dot without even knowing it. Sometimes starting is the best thing because your business does a complete turn. Matter of fact, a business like Instagram, when they started, they were a completely different app. They had to do a pivot where they became a photo sharing app, which allowed them to sell for $1 billion. But they never would have got there if they never started. So if you're someone that's over planning, or you're overthinking it, stop it. All you have to do, I'll tell you right now, you need to know which business you want to start and you just need to take the first steps to doing that. And if you don't know, I'm going to share something with you in this video. And by the way, if you want a step-by-step system on how I built my fortune online, I'm going to put a link to a free training. You can click and watch that. I'll show you exactly how I got rich over the internet. But first, I want to explain more about this business. I want to show you what actually makes money and how you can actually get started, actually start getting results. My biggest recommendation is selling a service. Let me explain. A lot of people think you need money to start a business or you need some form of capital. But imagine this. What if I told you instead of needing capital to start your business, instead of needing overhead or inventory or all these crazy skills, all you had to do is know one skill, one profitable skill that you can sell to a business in need. For example, like I said, I do social media marketing. I help businesses with their social media. I help them get customers through social media. It's a skill I learned that allowed me to charge businesses for my time. Why would I work at a 9-to-5 job and sell my time to this business for $20 an hour when I can learn a skill like social media and sell my time to these businesses for $500 an hour or $1,000 an hour? Because essentially that's what you're doing. People think that you need to have a college degree. It's a myth that's been programmed into your head. It's completely untrue. I want you to think about it like this. Do you think Jake Paul or Mr. Beast or Logan Paul, the richest YouTubers on the planet, Jake Paul, he just bought a jet. That's a $50 million plane. He just bought one at age 26 without a college degree because he learned the skill of social media. He learned marketing. And he's essentially doing the same thing I do at a bigger scale. He has marketing deals with Netflix. He brings customers to Netflix because they want to watch a Jake Paul fight. So essentially, all you're going to be doing is using the skill of social media and providing a service to these businesses. Maybe not the scale where you're going to get $100 million from Netflix, but why don't you start at $500 a month? or $1,000 a month. Get these businesses to pay you $1,000 a month. It's damn near better than working at a 9-to-5 job making $10 an hour. I'll take $1,000 per hour helping a business with social media. So you have to provide businesses with a service. Now, 2 quick notes about this before we keep going. One, you're probably wondering why I'm so gung-ho on social media. The reason I love social media is because think about it. Every single business needs it in today's day and age. We live in a day and age where businesses can't survive without social media. If you're a new business and you want to grow, how are you going to do it? You can't afford TV ads. You can't afford some crazy marketing campaign and hire celebrities. No, you have to do it through social media, the only free resource you have. These business owners that are 45, 50, 60 years old, they've been in business 20 years. They don't know social media. It's a relatively new thing to them. How are they going to do it on their own? They can't. So most of the time, they're going to find someone with the skills that can do it. Someone like you, someone like me. But what makes this beautiful is businesses all don't have the same budget. So for example, people always say,
Rene, why would you teach people how to do this if they're just going to compete with you? Isn't that going to make your life harder?
at the end of the day, I cannot create more competition for myself because I have so much experience in the game. These people that I teach, they're not even going for the same businesses. They're going for businesses that can afford to pay them $1,000 or $2,000 a month because they're beginners. Whereas I go for businesses that are paying me $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month because I have experience in the game. What's really cool about this, there's businesses of different sizes, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, a local restaurant, a local gym, a nail salon, a carpenter. One of my students in my private group, his clients are actually carpenters, which is insane to me, but they each pay him $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And as you start to learn and get better at the skill, guess what? You start to be able to charge a little bit more and a little bit more till eventually you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to learn one of these skills, how to provide one of these social media services. And that's where a little bit of work comes in. Again, it's not rocket science. You're not learning how to send a rocket into space. You're learning how to set up Facebook ads or set up Instagram ads, set up YouTube ads or Google ads, post TikToks. This is all the skills you're trying to learn. Most people are doing it already. They just didn't realize they can make money with it. The truth is, the skill that you can make the most money with is probably something you're already doing every single day. You just don't know it. So you're gonna go and you're gonna learn that skill. Resources like YouTube are great. Again, after the video, I'm gonna put a little link you can click on. I'll do a free training with you, show you how you can get started. And if you want more help, I also have a private group that I talk about there. But learn the skill, the resources are out there. And once you do that, you have a great foundation to now start making money. So I wanna share how exactly you can do this with 3 simple steps. I'm gonna tell you the exact process to start making money with this in the next 30 days. And I know that this works because I've helped close to 6,000 students, everyday regular people, actually use this to make money online. It's very simple. Step number 1, you're gonna go and you're gonna specialize in one specific service. That could be anything from Facebook ads to Instagram ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, video editing. Matter of fact, as a business owner, I pay a camera team. They do all the camera stuff. I pay someone to edit this. These are also social media stuff. So shout out to my editing team. But that's a skill that you can learn. You can also learn content. There's literally so many different skills on social media, so many different services you can offer. It doesn't matter what you're interested in. There's gonna be something that kind of falls into that. So master one service and choose one service to specialize in. Once you determine this, you're gonna go to step number 2, and it's simple as finding a list of businesses you wanna help. Normally, you wanna go into a niche. So I like to typically go into one specific niche, typically something you're interested in. So for example, if you like restaurants, you can just do social media marketing for restaurants because you're interested in it. It's gonna be easier to get these clients. Find a niche and make a list of 100 different businesses in this niche, okay? It doesn't matter where there are. What's really cool about this, you can do this business from anywhere. So I'm in Florida, but I have clients in California, Nevada, Maryland, Texas. I have clients all over the country because this is a remote business. You can do it completely online, which is really cool. So you're gonna make a list of 100 businesses, 100 dream clients that you would love to work with, do social media with. Again, make sure that you're not shooting too crazy. Like if you're completely new, you don't wanna do marketing for Disney because they have this giant billion-dollar marketing team. No, you wanna go with something more local, maybe a local amusement park. That'd be a better goal. So make a list of 100 businesses, dream businesses you wanna work with. And from there, we're gonna go to the final part, and this is really simple. All you're gonna do is send them a quick email or DM. It takes 2 minutes to do this. It's very, very simple. You just don't wanna be weird. Like people think that it's super difficult to talk to a new business or a new person. It's not that complicated. Literally, all it is a simple DM. Send them a compliment. Tell them you like their product or their restaurant or their location, their venue. Send them a compliment. Offer to help them out. Again, a lot of these businesses, believe it or not, they've thought about doing social media, but they just never found the opportunity to, or no one ever hit them up. So sometimes, despite what you might think might think, oh, everyone's doing this. I promise you, because I know from experience and my students' experience, I've hit up businesses before and they say,
Wow, I've been wanting to do this and no one's ever hit me up before. Thank you.
and they're excited. It's the easiest client to close. They pay me $2,000 the next day because they literally have been looking for help and no one's hit them up yet. All these businesses out there, just DM them. Simple DM, email. It takes 2 minutes for each email. A lot easier than working a 9-to-5 job for sure. And talk to them. Don't be weird. A lot of them will say no. Your goal is not to close all of these clients, sell your service to all these businesses. As one person, most likely you're not going to be able to help 100 businesses anyways. Your goal is just to help a small amount of them, 5 to 10%. Because think about it like this. If it's 100 businesses and 5% of them pay you $2,000 a month, you can do the math on that. That's $10,000 a month just like that, by following that 3-step process. It's very, very simple. Matter of fact, I want to show you how this business stacks up to other businesses. So let me actually share my screen so you guys can see this. We'll do it together. So I want to quickly go over all of these business models you might see out there, right? Starting with the first one, just to show you how it stacks up against what we're talking about here, right? We see a lot of people talking about e-commerce, drop shipping, Shopify, Amazon, selling things online, and they make it seem like it's going to be passive income for you, right? Here's where they go wrong because one, let's think about the cost. What do you pay for when you do e-commerce? Well, you pay for the products, right? So let's say you're selling a $10 product for $20, double the markup. So you're costing me $10 per product, right? That's one. But no one talks about the cost of marketing. How are you going to market this product? Are you going to post content every single day? You're going to post videos on TikTok? Who's going to make these videos? So what, you're going to either spend money on Facebook ads, spend money on ads, or you're going to post content every day on social media. What else you have to do with e-commerce? Oh, you have to build a website. You have to build a website to sell the product. You have to handle fulfillment. So you have to ship the product. What else? You have to do customer support. So you literally have to reply to all the customer support emails you get. So I want you guys to realize, let's say you wanted to make $1,000, your first 1,000 online with e-commerce, you would have to sell. Let's do the math. What is this? 100 products. You sell 100 products at $20 a piece. By the way, I don't think you guys realize how hard it is to sell 100 products. If you don't believe me, I want you to try to sell 5 products. Without going to your friends or family, just to strangers. Try to sell 5 products to strangers. And I say this as someone who's made millions of dollars in e-commerce, someone that's done it to the highest degree. I've helped businesses do over $25 million strictly in e-commerce, $80 million across the board with every single product. So I've done 25 million in e-commerce. I know kind of what goes into it. Let's say you sell 100 products at $20. That's $2,000 in revenue. Your product cost is going to be $1,000. Your shipping costs, people don't think about that. Your shipping cost is going to be $500 shipping cost. Let's say you get returns. Let's say you get chargebacks, $100 in returns. That leaves you with a grand total. I want you to see something here. Leaves you the grand total of $400 profit. So you want to make 20 grand a month? At this rate, if you want $20,000 a month profit, you are going to need to sell, make $20,000 a month profit, or let's say even $10,000 a month, right? You need 2,500 sales to make $10,000 in profit every single month. Meaning, if your product dies out, guess what? You have to do this all over again. And you can't find another product, guess what? Your income stops. So when it comes to e-commerce, it gets a little bit tricky. Is it possible? 100%. I have friends that have made millions of dollars in e-commerce. Is it the best business model for beginners? I wouldn't say that. So I want to go to a second one, right? Big one people talk about is content creation. Well, content creation, I like it because the cost, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything to create content. But what it does cost you, you're going to be required to be on camera. Right? You could try faceless content, but it's a lot harder to go viral because you're competing with so many people. On top of that, let's say you use other people's content. I've had friends that use clipping accounts of like streamers. What happens is streamers then claim all the income because it's technically their content. So it's not a reliable way to make money. But let's say you're creating your own content. You're going to need to show your face on camera. You're going to need to talk to the camera. You're going to need to post consistently. You're gonna need to do all of this stuff. It's almost like working a full-time job. That's why there was a streamer, Aiden Ross, he says, streaming is a full-time job. It's hard. It's almost as hard as working a 9-to-5. And he got killed for this online because they were like, oh, you're crazy. You make millions of dollars to BS on camera. But what he was saying is that he has to do a lot. It's like he's the product at the end of the day. And when it comes to the revenue here, as someone who's gotten paid on YouTube, TikTok, I get paid for all my views. It's not a lot of money. 1 million views. I think on YouTube, I made $4,000. 1 million views on TikTok. I think I made $400, $500. So let's say I post a YouTube video that gets, I don't know, you could look at the average views on my channel. These videos get like 5,000 views. It's nothing. So what is that? Let's say I post a YouTube video. It gets like, I don't know, 100,000 views because I crush it. Guys, I want you to realize that's only like $400 in profit. That's if I get a video that pops for 100,000 views, by the way. I've had 4 videos do that. TikTok, same thing. Let's say TikTok, I'm getting like 5 million views a month. I'm going crazy. I'm famous at this point. 5 million views. That is $2,000. If you're in the creator fund, I don't even know if they still have that. I haven't posted on TikTok in a long time. That'll show you like how much I care about the money on TikTok. It's not really there. That's $2,400. You have to get a YouTube video that has 100,000 views, a TikTok video that gets 5 million views in order to make $2,400. And again, with stuff like this, one thing I like when it comes to businesses is reliability, sustainability, right? With e-commerce, it's tricky because it's like, unless you're going to keep selling forever, confident your product's not going to die, it's going to be hard. Same with content creation. You're always trying to find a new thing. You're trying to find a new hit, right? You're chasing a hit song as like an artist. In order for you to get paid, you have to find your next hit song. And some people can do it. It might be you. If you're someone that's just really charismatic, good at creating content, you love it, you can post 50 videos a day, that might be your thing because you're going to be great at it. But I think most people, including myself, as much as I love this content game, you'll see at some point I was posting 2 YouTube videos a week, and the older I got, the more I kind of burned out, the more I wanted to spend time with my family. I couldn't just work, and I wanted more of like a passive income like we talked about earlier. I couldn't just keep posting YouTube videos forever. It was exhausting. It was draining. So that's kind of my only thing when it comes to this content creator thing, right? But I want to get to my favorite one. I saved it for last. You guys probably saw it coming, but saved it for last. And that's selling a social media service or selling a service in general, any service. I love selling these services. And by the way, it doesn't even have to be a social media service. It could be a physical service, right? I have a friend that's a car detailer. He details cars, right? I have a friend that he's like a landscaper. He landscapes. Those guys are selling their service. But the issue is those services don't have much of a markup. With a service like that, he details a car, they pay him like $100. He makes $100 in an hour, which is still a pretty good trade-off. It's way better than working a 9-to-5 job. You clean 5 cars in a day, you make $500. But it's still trading your time for money in a way you don't like it, right? The reason I love a social media service is it's something that's scalable because you can get paid a lot of money for very little time. For example, when you set up a Facebook ad, right? You only have to set it up once. Let's say a business were to pay me $4,000 per month. This is a real story, by the way. A business paid me $4,000 for a month of social media ads, right? All I did was create 2 or 3 Facebook campaigns, Facebook, Instagram, Meta campaigns. I created these campaigns for him to advertise his product. They were getting a really good return. And what's really cool about Facebook ads, once you set up these campaigns, you never have to set them up ever again. Unless they stop working. But here's the thing, I set up these campaigns, they started working instantly. He had a good product, the campaigns were good, the ads were good. It was kind of like a perfect storm. They started working instantly. So guess what? The next month, I set them up once, never touched it ever again. I would just look every single day and watch the money come in. Literally, next month, he's like, yo, this was great. Let's do it again. Gave me another $4,000. I didn't even make more ads. The ads were already running. So I was spending maybe 20 minutes a day, 20 minutes a week, just checking on it, 5 minutes a day, just looking, making sure that everything was good. And boom, I didn't have to work on it again for 4 or 5 months. When they were like, hey, sales are slowing down, I was like, okay, cool, let's try some new ads, let's test some new things. And that's when I had to jump back on it. But for 4 months, I got paid to just look at my ads that I built run 4 months ago. It was insane. So that's why I love selling a social media service. You can get extreme leverage here. But let's go over some of the specifics, right? So as far as cost, similar to content creation, it costs you nothing to offer a service as long as you know how to do it, right? The education, getting the knowledge, you might have to pay for that, but everything else, it's free. It's free to offer a service. So it's going to cost you nothing, right? Do you need to buy products? Nope. The business does that for you. They already have it. Do you need to start a business or build a website? Nope. The business has that already, right? So they have all this stuff. Guys, what makes this really cool, think about it. I tell people this all the time. The reason I love this, you don't have to build a business from scratch. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? These people that try to do e-commerce, they're trying to create a whole new business from scratch. Imagine how difficult that is. But when you're selling a social media service, all you are doing is taking advantage of a business someone already built. If a restaurant's been around for 30 years, what does that mean? It means they probably have good food. People probably like them. They just don't know how to do social media. So they have all of this stuff already. They're already doing it, but they're just not advertising it. So you're taking advantage of a business that's already built. You're just putting it online. You're just putting it on the internet. And guess what? If it worked without the internet, it's probably going to work on the internet. So your cost is nothing. Zero. You have to learn the skill. You have to contact the businesses. But what's really cool, and I'll share this at the end, you can use AI to contact all these businesses too. It's so much easier to make money in today's day and age with all the stuff we have, but you have to learn the skill. You have to contact the businesses. But outside of that, guys, look at this, the revenue. Let's say a business pays you $2,000 a month, right? You work on this a month and you work on this business 2 hours a week. And business number 2, this business number 1, I'm going to organize this. I'm a fan of organization, if you couldn't tell. And business number 2 pays you a little bit less. They pay you $1,500 a month and you're working on them a little longer, 4 hours a week. And then business number 3, they're rich. So they pay you $4,000 a month, right? Just like how that business paid me. And because they're paying you more, you work on them a little harder. You're working for them 8 hours a week. Guys, let's do the math here. Your total here, right? Between all the businesses, you're going to be making $7,500 per month working, math, 14 hours a week. That is more than the average person makes at a full-time job working 50 hours a week, you'd make $7,500 per month working 14 hours a week. And what makes this beautiful is it doesn't stop, it doesn't die. Again, if the business has been around for 10 years, guess what? It's probably gonna be around for another 10. So guess what's gonna keep happening beginning of every single month? You're gonna get paid, you're gonna get a check every single month for doing the marketing for these businesses that have been around forever already. All you're doing is putting them online. That is why I love this business model. That is why this is my business model of choice. I know what you're thinking. Why does this work? This seems way too simple. But guys, that's the reason it works. This is not as flashy as all this 7-figure empire lifestyle content. There's no Lambos involved. You're not flying on private jets to go meet with a client. Maybe at some point you are gonna do that. But when you're getting started, the reason this works is because while everyone's focused on all this like motivational, inspirational, flashy content, you're actually working. You're actually building a real business. And then at some point, you're gonna be the one doing this content and people are gonna be like, oh, I wanna be like him. But they don't realize that it all just started from the ground up. The reason this works, the reason this seems way too good to be true is because no one shares this with you. Most people want their problem solved today. They want immediate gratification. They're not the type of people that are willing to put their head down, learn a real skill, learn a real business, something that might not involve brand new penthouse, but it's what's gonna get them there in the long run. It's a business that can allow someone to make $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 online in the first 30 days. Again, I gave you the exact process on how to do it as well. Literally, all you have to go do is find businesses, contact them, offer them a service, and you can start making money online. And literally, as you get experience, guess what? The clients get bigger, the deals get bigger, the experience grows, your skills get better. All of this stuff starts to stack on top of each other. You get this exponential growth. You get this compound effect. Back in 2018, I made $100,000 at a sales job. 2019, I made my first $1 million just doing social media marketing. That's the type of change you get. The type of radical change you see once you start a business like this and your skills start to stack up. Because before you know it, clients are paying you $10,000 a month. You have 6 or 7 of them. That money starts to add up quick. And by the way, it's all profit. And it doesn't even have to be as extreme as my story. I actually have a student named Jeff. And Jeff's story, I think, is actually a little bit cooler than mine. It's one of my most inspirational case studies. Jeff started with me and he was homeless. This guy literally was sleeping in his car. So he didn't have resources, he didn't have a way out, but he learned a skill, social media marketing, and he went up to businesses. He was bold enough to actually go up to these businesses in person. You don't gotta do all that, but you know, Jeff, he was hungry, he was a hustler. So he went up to these businesses in person, talked to these business owners, closed this first deal for $1,500, told me the next day, showed me a check. I said, keep going. He kept going. Before you know it, he got a second and a third and a fourth business. A month later, Jeff, and this is crazy, it was a complete 180. Jeff went from making nothing, being homeless, living in his car, to making $7,000 a month, being his own boss with his own business, working from his new spot in LA on his laptop. His life changed like that. He didn't become a millionaire overnight. I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen, but he was able to use this skill, change his life altogether. I think that was one of the most beautiful things I've ever experienced, because it just goes to show that consistent work, consistent hustle, actually applying this stuff, anyone can do it. If he can do it, anyone can. Here's the truth, guys. If you wanna know why you haven't been able to get results and you've been watching these videos for months, it's because you're just switching from thing to thing. The truth is, passive income doesn't exist for beginners. You have to find a skill and you have to lock in. You have to make money with that one skill. Here's what I want you to do after this video. It's very, very simple. Find a business model. It doesn't have to be the business I shared with you today. It doesn't have to be what I do. It could be any business you could think of, but you're not allowed to switch once you choose. So once you choose a business model, you have to live with your decision. If you choose something crazy like NFTs, especially in today's day and age when no one even cares about those anymore, you have to stick with that until you make money with it. If you choose sports betting, which is another insane one, you have to stick with that until you make money with it. Probably not, because you probably lose all your money. But let's say you were to choose a business like e-commerce or content creation. You're not allowed to switch until you make money with that business. Just $1. That's all you gotta make, because that dollar is gonna act as the first domino to fall. And once you make one, the next domino is 10, and the one after is 100. The one after that's 1,000. And before you know it, you've made $10,000 online with this skill, all because you just stayed with it. You didn't chase the shiny object. You didn't chase the passive income. You just stuck with the business that actually works. If you wanna learn the business that I do, again, it's worked for me and thousands of others. I'm gonna put a link in the description of this video to a free training. You'll be able to ask me questions. I don't know how often I do them, but as of right now, the link is gonna be there. So click the link, sign up. I'll show you exactly how you can get started, how you can set up an ad for these businesses. I'll share my story. You'll get more in-detailed stuff. You'll also get an opportunity to work with me and my team personally. So if you're interested in that, click the link in this video. But guys, literally, you're this close to changing your life. You just gotta lock in. Appreciate you guys. Peace.